So I woke up today with that song Rise Up by Andra Day. And it might have just been because I was getting out of bed and rising up for the day. Or it could have been that we all need to hear the words because it inspired me, got me up, did a little dance in my kitchen. And it made me realize that sometimes it's just time to rise up. You're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round. And you can't find the fighter, but I see it in you, so we can walk it out and move mountains. We're gonna walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise up. I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up high like the waves. I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I'll rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you. For you. For you and for you. When the silence isn't quiet and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe, and I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet and move mountains, bring it to its feet and move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you. All we need is hope. And for that, we have each other. And for that, we have each other. We will rise, we will rise, we'll rise, oh, we will rise. I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I'll rise up. I'll rise 1,000 times again, and we'll rise up, high like the waves. We'll rise up in spite of the ache. We'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you. I love that song. So then I just wrote down something that came to my mind, which just goes right in line with that. Foundations are crumbling beneath us, not to bring fear, but to bring new. Flee the idea that you're powerless. Put your hands in the soil that you walk on and connect back with the abundance that exists for you. The darkness only holds shadows while you carry the light that ignites possibilities, endless to our understanding. Your colors that you radiate give hope that the tides are changing. You are the word. Speak it so others can also be ignited in their truth. We are guided along the way. I don't really have a plan of what I'm going to talk about. That was all I got. But now I'm just going to go with the flow. And I have my cards. So I'm going to see what more needs to be touched on. What more we need to focus on right now. Because I know how crazy the world is at this point, and I know that people are going through a lot of heavy stuff. I will feel at home in myself. Scarcity mindset. Ancestral guidance. Multidimensional analysis. I will feel at home in myself. The mosaic of your destiny is being created. I will feel at home in myself. Something about the earth energies right now. I will feel at home in myself. Scarcity mindset. Dream time. Creation. I'm not seeing this scarcity mindset as like a negative thing. I'm actually seeing it as like the blank canvas. So I'm not going to take it the way that it's written. I will feel at home in myself, and I have all the possibilities of creating something that is rooted in my dreams, right? We are being asked to get back to who we are and at a soul level. And you know, maybe if some of us are feeling like we have a scarcity mindset, flipping it and thinking, well, I have all the possibilities of creating something new. So maybe I have a scarcity mindset within this matrix, this Maya, this illusion that I've been told I need to have. And it's because I'm not meant to be living in that mindset anymore. I'm meant to create from my dreams. Island, solitude. Dreams come when we're sleeping. Solitude comes when we separate ourselves. A blank canvas is there before a painting is created. We're being asked to get back to, When I think about being at home and myself, I think about what were the things that I wanted as a child, like what were the goals that I had, the visions, the dreams that I once held as what I wanted in my future. And so many of us, all of us, really, a lot of us, have to shut that down as we get older. It gets buried by trauma, it gets replaced with goals that other people project onto us, or situations where we don't feel like we can cultivate that within us. And then we forget. And then we don't feel at home in ourselves. We have to be distracted by things, and we're uncomfortable being alone in solitude. But we're being asked, in order to flip that scarcity mindset, we're being asked to take that time to reflect within. And then it's effortless. Then when we connect with ourselves again, when we begin to feel like us, when we find home within ourselves, that waterfall of emotions, that waterfall of dreams that we once held, it's like getting in the flow of your truth. Once you begin to build that, once you begin to connect back with that, then everything in your life begins to align again. Things begin to flow in the same direction. We begin to see clearer see ourselves clearer. And we're being asked to nurture that part of ourselves in order for it to come back to life, in order for it to be created. We need to find solitude within ourselves and feel at home in ourselves again. And this is what will create an effortless flow in our life direction. And we will continue to be nurtured by Mother Gaia, by the ancestral guidance. Because our ancestors are always with us, our multi-dimensional family. If we feel disconnected from family and friends right now, we need to know that just because we can't see them, they're on the other side. They're rooting for you. They're wanting to assist, but they can't unless you ask, because that's against universal law. Wow, yeah. Perspective. We're being asked to change our perspective. So looking outside of what we see, having that multi-dimensional analysis, being open to things that maybe we haven't been open to yet, and seeing that this life isn't just about staying the same for years and years and years and years on end. It's about growing, and just like a child grows into an adult, as an adult we can grow into our multidimensional self, and we can open our mind up to things that maybe we haven't been open to before. Instincts. ancestral guidance and multidimensional analysis. They're wanting us to change our perspective and maybe get back to our roots. Be on alert. Look around us. Use our instincts. See what is not in truth and what is. See what's aligned and what's not, and be vigilant in that. Because the world is shifting right now, and it's important that we are getting that. My chair's squeaky. It's important that we're being vigilant in connecting and being aware of what's going on, and realizing that this is not just a physical war that we're witnessing. It's a spiritual war. And we need to learn to just, while we're being vigilant and while we're using our instincts and while we're paying attention with our perspectives shifting and our, being made aware of things, we're also being asked to go with the flow. It's almost like, okay, I'm imagining, our spirit team on the other side, our ancestors, like, you need to be on alert. We are offering you our help from the other side, but as a human being walking this planet, you need to be questioning things, question your own perspective, look into things and question them some more. Use your instincts, connect back with that spirit within, that the natural ability to read a room or to look through illusions that may be being placed in front of you, and pay attention to those feelings that you get and be vigilant in that, because it's important right now. Because with it being a spiritual war, there are energies that want to confuse, there's energies that want to distract, and some people don't even know that their vessel is being used by lower energies, and you may be around those people, and you're being asked to be vigilant and be aware. Use your all three eyes. And then the ancestors are saying, but we see from a higher perspective. We see things that you don't see. And so you also, as a paradox, of course, because, Jasper. As a paradox, need to trust that we got you. And so do what you can in your human vessel while we're up here and we're helping you maneuver through it. So that's where we're being asked to, go with the flow. And this is where the mosaic happens. And that is your destiny. And so the ancestors are, the ancestors, our guides on the other side, are reminding us that, yes, you got your boots on the ground. You are walking it. But we are your eyes. We are your lookout. I just saw an image of wildland firefighters, because my son is a wildland firefighter right now, and they always have, you know, a lookout. They always have somebody that's watching where the fire is shifting, paying attention to the wind and how it's moving. And, you know, they need to be aware so that a fire doesn't rip through the mountain and demolish people, the firefighters, you know? And so it's their job. And that's why we have our ancestral guidance, because they have a multidimensional analysis. They can see things that we can't. And that's why it's so important to be connected. And it's not just the ancestors, it's our spirit team. You know, it's the energies that we connect with, the animals even, that always end up showing up when we're needing it the most. Or, you know, a symbol that maybe connects us with a grandparent that has passed on, or a friend. It's not just the ancestors. And the more we learn about energy, and energy never dies. And we're all made up of it. And so it's not so woo-woo to think that we have that support on the other side. And for those of us that have lost loved ones that we're really close to, I think that we can all agree that there are those moments where we feel them. And they're wanting to work with us when it comes to this mosaic. They want us to feel safe again. They want us to feel at home in ourselves. And they want us to be in our purpose. Because when we are in our purpose, we light up the dark. We demolish the illusions that are meant to trap us in limited thinking. There's lots of love. There's lots of love that, I mean, you have the two hands, right? And one's coming from above. Oh, I love that. One is coming from above and one is below. And it reminds me of being connected to the other side. They're wanting to meet us at our heart. They're wanting to help us. We just have to ask and pay attention, stay alert, stay vigilant, you know, get back to our instincts. It's volatile. It's volatile that we do this. They're saying that there is shape-shifting happening, confusion, and they're asking, please connect with us. Let us walk the path with you. So that we can help in this mosaic, this confusing time, we can make it make sense. Because things are shifting and you're going to need it. Dragonfly. Emergence. So, I mean, in some ways, this is like emergency. In other ways, it's like the dragonfly, you know, begins deep in water. It starts off as a larva. It starts off, its environment is completely different than what it ends up as. You know, this dragonfly gets used to being submerged. And then it rises up. And then it gets its wings, and then for the rest of its life, ends up being in the air with the coolest, you know, flight paths. I think it's like one of the oldest insects too. It reminds me of a dream I had, and I actually have a tattoo of a dragonfly, so. And in this dream, I was in this castle and I was like hiding there. It was dark and it was like lonely and scary, and there were like spiders crawling everywhere, and I saw this dragonfly, and it actually had my grandma's voice that had passed over, and it started singing that song, "This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine." It's volatile that we let our light shine while things are shifting around us. And it's volatile that we emerge into this dragon. This dragonfly that has wings that can zoom back and forth and circle around, and we're meant to share our light with others around us. And that goes in line too with like what I had written kind of like before was, you know, we are the word. We are the beginning. You know, in order for things to shift, in order for things to change, we have to begin speaking about it and bringing life to something. It's like the comparison between, you know, drawing something that we want to create on a piece of paper. And then the next step is taking it and, you know, inputting it into a 3D printer that actually creates it right in front of us and that we're able to use. So we're taking our idea, we're putting it on a piece of paper, and then it becomes something new. It's like we are the word. And so now, knowing how much power we have in our voice, and knowing how much power we have in just talking about things and realizing the things and moving from a scarcity mindset, you know, changing that perspective and taking it to the next level. This is how we are going to step into our purpose. Oh, I'm going to use these other cards. All right. Closing out message. What is the message that we need to know in order to close out this reading. Oh. Okay. Trapped in fear. So I think for many of us, fear is what holds us back. And it makes sense because it's held me back. And I know it holds many people back because there's so many reasons why. Let me get some more cards. We're being asked to be made aware of our fear. Because it's volatile. And because things are shifting, we need to be able to see it. You know, it's like the skeletons in the closet. We need to see the skeletons. We need to look at our fear. We need to stare it straight in the eye and be aware that it's there, because if we can't, then we allow it to continue running us from our subconscious. Yes, we need to gain authority over our fear. Oh, I love that. It's volatile right now. It's volatile that we gain authority over the fear that is keeping us from being in the flow. We need to take authority over ourselves, our sovereignty. Stop being controlled by fear and begin just by speaking or writing. You know, there's something about that, the communication, the word. And this is what is going to bring us prosperity. If we stay in our, it's like the prison, right? When we're trapped in our fear and we don't accept it for what it is, and we don't even see the bars around us because we've been in it for so long, then we are limited and we are not in our authority. We have authority over us. We're being asked to take authority over ourselves now, and this is what is going to bring this prosperity, this spiritual and material prosperity that so many of us are wanting. All right, one more to close out this reading. Power, baby. This is a reminder. Wow, what a great card to end on. The ancestors are reminding you that you have the power. It's just getting out of the fear, seeing it for what it is, right? Seeing it with your awareness and your instinct. spell right on top of it. Using your instincts, being aware, taking back your authority in order for you to have this prosperity. And as a closeout card, they are your higher self, the Most High God, Goddess, energies, spirit, ancestors, spirit team, animal guides, all of it. They want you to know that you have the power. You do. Love it. All right, until next time.